But Thomas charging through the midfield. Thomas, it's up for grabs now. Thomas, right at the end.
Hello, welcome. This is Alan Davis here. This is the Up for Grabs Now Arsenal podcast. Welcome. It's our first edition, and I've got Ian Stone with me and Tyre. How are you?
Good, thank you very much.
Really I gather you both support Arsenal, is that right?
Yeah, you should hope so for the next half an hour, yeah.
I hope so. Have you had a good week supporting Arsenal? Do you want to talk about the Carling Cup or Tottenham Hotspur?
Chronologically, do you think?
Yeah, okay.
I think we should save the Tottenham stuff for later. It's going to take the longest.
So beat Liverpool. Anyway, Tottenham. I was interested about the strength of their bench, but no, because before the game, Robbie Keane did say that they had a much stronger bench than we did, and I noticed that when they arrived, they actually used the chairs provided. They had no bench. He can't have been talking about the players. He must have been talking about furniture.
A Tottenham fan did say that to me, suggest that to me in a text after the game. What happened to your bench? Well, it actually was talking about this walnut bench they have at White Hart Lane, but they didn't bring it with them.
All around us, I remember everyone quaking in their boots when Alan Hutton started warming
Hutton's
up.
on.
That was a big moment, because after we went 3 up, we thought now we're going to see the real firepower off the Spurs bench. And they brought Alan Hutton.
Yeah, an attacking fullback.
For those of you who don't know, he used to play for Rangers. Therefore, he's balding. Yeah. That's all you can say about any ex-Rangers player.
Have we ever had an ex-Rangers player?
No, we don't have balding players. We haven't had a balding player since Steve Bold.
Who we saw the other... He was there for the Liverpool game, actually. Bring us back to Liverpool.
He's always there.
He was there. He got a rendition of Got No Hair.
He's always there. He's got children around him, like young players around him at all times, getting things for him.
You know that song?
He's the youth team coach, that's what I mean.
But right, yeah.
That's when it's Got No Hair and He Don't Care. Or We Don't Care.
Yeah, we don't care.
But he probably did.
We said we don't. He's got nowhere. We don't care.
Yeah.
Well, you're suggesting he probably did care.
And every time we sang it, he probably cared a bit more.
But if he cared so much about having no hair, he shouldn't have kept going for near post flick-ons, because he was losing a few hairs every time he did it.
He didn't look that
excited. He didn't look that excited the other day when we were singing it to him.
The
Which actually,
game.
I mean, one of our guys who we sit with obviously gets really excited when Damien sees any of the Arsenal players up there. Remember we saw Martin Keown up there?
I have to explain to those of you who are listening that we sit together in the West Lower at the Emirates, and above us, immediately above us, is a director's box.
Which proved hilarious the other day.
Oh, marvellous. Daniel Levy and his son.
Abusing
his son.
And there is a story to this, because last year with the unfortunate 4-4, they had a right smirk on when they were cheering.
I love the unfortunate 4-4. I love the way that game's been called the unfortunate 4-4.
What else was it? yeah, they brought out a video for it. I think they called it something different.
That was their
cup final. That was their cup final.
It was their highlights video for the season, wasn't it? Yeah, in fact, it lasted 5 minutes. It was the stoppage time at the Emirates when we cocked up and let in 2 goals.
And obviously they had to buy the video because nobody saw it in the stadium.
The funny thing was, when they scored those 2 goals at the end and the Spurs players ran over to celebrate, there were no Spurs fans left. They had to run straight out the ground and down to the tube
to go and get the rest of them.
Turn back, it's 4-3.
Daniel Levy and his motley crew last year, when we one of our lot again, the lovely Keith Dover, was actually offered out Daniel Levy.
No, he didn't offer him out. He offered out Bill Kenwright when we played Everton. Different thing.
No. What, the theatrical impresario? How can you offer out a theatrical impresario? That seems wrong.
What's he done to anyone? Anyway,
all I know is next time I saw Bill Kenwright, his hair was parted on the other side. And I don't know if that's connected or not. But he was ruffled.
I have a recollection of Keith having a go at the Tottenham.
I didn't join in. Right, well, there's 11 of us who sit together. I didn't join in. The other 10 were all singing "You're not very good. You're not very good."
I think I led that one. That was quite
you did lead that.
And you didn't sing that to the Tottenham directors. Why not? No. They aren't.
I don't know. I just thought it wasn't good enough.
Wasn't appropriate.
It wasn't. I think if I'm going to be abusive, I want to be proper.
But this time, bearing in mind, a year ago on Harry's second game, they were smiling smugly down at us. So this time, Jamie Redknapp was looking pretty ashen-faced.
Jamie Redknapp, how does he get into those trousers? And he must have to be cut out of them at the end of every day.
I couldn't see his bottom half.
What is it with Sky Sports when they all sit there with their legs wide apart, as if they're sitting in the back of a massive cab? And there's this fucking great display of walnuts and Brazil nuts all over the television screen. Richard Keys doesn't, obviously, because he's a eunuch.
The other good thing about where we sit...
hands.
He's not really a eunuch.
We sit close enough to the Spurs directors or anyone else to have a go at them, but we also sit close enough to the opposition bench.
Oh, yeah. Harry got the right
abuse there?
Now, look,
The
thing is with Harry, right? I like Harry. I went on a Bobby Moore soccer school when I was 14 years old that was run by Harry Redknapp, and he was the nicest imaginable bloke. And all the years that he's been betraying people and stabbing clubs in the back and going from Portsmouth to Southampton and back to Portsmouth or leaving West End and selling all their good players and then just disappearing.
Yeah.
All the years he's been doing that to clubs. I thought, no, Harry, lovely bloke. But now he's gone to the dark side. He's turned.
But doesn't he just fit in perfectly? Now he's gone over to the dark side. It's just all those lovable things before actually just suit his Tottenham character perfectly. And he's made himself like the perfect figure of fun. And he got upset. He got upset with the fan. He got upset.
Well,
with
he
the fan
said he was a mug punter, is what he said, and he was been abusive and said there were children about.
He said he was the reason I had him thrown out. What happened was, listener, we sit behind the way dugout. 15, 16 rows back.
They can hear us though, can't they?
Yeah, almost certainly. If they can hear us above the other 14 rows.
Glenn Roeder heard Keith, didn't he, last season, as far as I understand.
Yeah, and they've been happily in love ever since. And normally they don't rise to it. They don't turn round. They don't look at you. Why would they? Because they go to away games every other week all season long and they don't bother looking round. They get abuse everywhere they go. That's part of it. The only person who's ever really proper looked round, well, there was Brian Horton.
Ferguson as well. He has a moan on.
And Ferguson. Yeah. Ferguson didn't like it. And he went and he moaned in the papers, that it's a security issue. Meanwhile, at Old Trafford, it's sit down you paedophile for 90 minutes.
Although in his
directed at Arsene Wenger.
He's had a go today.
Yeah, this made me laugh out loud as this. We're going to write a letter. They're going to write a letter, Manchester United FC, to all their supporters groups and websites saying, will you please sing in Sit Down You Paedophile at Arsene Wenger? Can any of those people read? What is the point of writing a letter?
What's this word, Peter? What?
They're going to have to yell it in their ears or cut their tongues out to stop them doing it.
They do sing some pretty nasty songs at Man United, don't they?
They do sing some nasty songs. But he's the only one who's moaned previously about our fans behind the dugout. But it was quite early on in the game. Harry lost it. Joe Jordan went a bit loopy and was turning around doing some pointing. Yeah. And Harry lost it. It was about 20 past... Well, I was going to say 20 past 3, but it was 5 past 1, wasn't it? Yeah. And he was pointing and having people ejected. That's a first.
Nobody got ejected, though, did they?
Someone had to go.
No, the steward had a word with him and he went out. I think he went out for some more beer or something.
He said, go out, do a lap of the ground, have a look at the Arsenalisation that's taken place on the concourse, and we'll see you for the second half. Yeah. Harry will be sitting down by then because they'll be 3-4 down, so he won't be up on his feet pointing at Gooners.
So he'll have his head in his hands.
Harry's got all this annoyed before anything meaningful was actually happening in the games. We weren't even playing that well at this point.
Well, that's the one thing I do agree with Harry.
We were pony and trap.
Harry was saying that the crowd was starting to get on him.
But he got a little bit whiny about that too as well. You see he had a little sneer on, or maybe that was just... Can I say that?
Do you want to talk about Spurs players or Arsenal players?
Should we start with... OK, we'll start with some Arsenal players. I mean, Diaby wasn't having a great first half.
What happened with Diaby in the first half?
Drugged.
Well, somebody did say Mogadon, didn't they? And I thought he does seem to be running very slowly.
He was behaving as if he'd had a massive bifter 5 minutes before kick-off. Like he wakes up and he has a spliff.
And I read an interview the other day. He said that people might think
and he didn't realise it was a 1:45 kick-off.
People
and he wasn't
might think I'm lazy. He said people might think I'm lazy when I play. What gives you that impression, Abu?
People do think he's lazy, and he didn't look like he was on it in the first half.
But it's a frustrating thing with him is he's a massively gifted footballer. So you want him to deliver more than he does, but it seems to be in his head a little bit.
Liverpool in the Champions League last year when he was that amazing. I'm sorry to bring that up. I know that.
Fantastic.
Villa away.
When we played AC Milan away, he was awesome.
He can be brilliant, but what is it? Is it
but
an age
we are talking
thing?
About games that were 2 seasons ago. So what happened last season, for example? Yeah.
Well, is it an age thing? I mean, everyone goes on about they're young, and he's only young, isn't he? So he's not going to impose himself on a game yet.
Fabregas is only young, and he's really good though.
Yeah, Fabregas is different. It's different. You can't really apply the same rules to Fabregas. He was in the first team at 16.
Do you think this is a bit of an issue with Fabregas? Is that this is what happens, right? We talk about the players around the team, and then we talk about Fabregas, and everyone goes, yeah, but Fabregas is like Jesus, so we don't have to talk about Fabregas. We'll talk about everyone else. So he doesn't get. One of our friends always says, "Why don't we sing his name name? Why hasn't he got a proper song? He ought to be.
We've got Cesc Fabregas.
He ought to be a deity at our club, but we'll just go, yeah, well, he's Jesus. So the other 10, he's crap. We'll buy someone else. We should replace him. We should do him. But Cesc somehow, he doesn't. I don't. Maybe he doesn't get proper attention.
No, I don't know. I think I've read loads of stuff in the press, and we all do think he's fantastic. And
How long have we got him for? Any thoughts?
I think we need to win something this season. Is my view.
But you say
I say we don't need to win. The longer we don't win something for, the longer we keep him. That's what I think.
I think you're right.
Blow the final.
Have you seen?
Yeah.
Have you seen?
We win
how
the European Cup when he's 30, and then we'll all be happy, and then he'll go.
Have you seen how he started celebrating the goals? I mean, there's a lot of passion in them celebrations. I mean, apart from the fact that it was just hilarious, scoring 11 seconds.
Yeah.
11 seconds after, but the way he went over, kind of.
Yeah, he meant it.
No, he really meant that celebration. And the one the other, the volley the other day when he was a lot of badge kissing. That's the other thing about Fabregas. Fabregas clearly is the only person who's allowed to come and kiss the badge without getting the abuse that all
He
badge
actually
kissers
means
get.
it.
He does.
Yeah.
At the moment.
You're listening to Up for Grabs now. It's the Arsenal podcast. You can email us at upforgrabs@playbackmedia.co.uk. I'm not going to spell it out for you if you don't understand what I said. What's wrong with you? It's up for grabs. Up for grabs at playbackmedia.co.uk, and also on Twitter, twitter.com/up for grabs. So do join in if you like talking about, for example, Cesc Fabregas. Now, the thing I'd like to talk about, the second goal that he scored against Tottenham was, I counted them, because this is what I'm like, 6 touches. 6 touches from the halfway line to the back of the net. Every single one a precision moment of genius. How does he do that? How is it possible to dribble so comfortably when you sort of look a bit like an exchange student and not like an athlete?
Yeah, but that's the difference between him and every other player on the team. I don't think anyone else could really do that. I really don't.
No, Arshavin can run with the ball pretty
Arshavin takes 6 touches every yard. Stuart Little, I
Cesc
call him,
doesn't-
as you know. Every time I see him, he reminds me of Stuart
I know,
Little.
but I didn't. He's 5'8". He's only about half an inch smaller than me.
5'8"?
He's 5. That's what it
Sedu.
says.
That's what his mum
He's
says.
not 5'8".
That's what it said, and I thought he's half an inch smaller
We're doing
than me.
Imperial Russian, not Russian Imperial.
No, he's a little fella, and I think he's got amazing close control. But I don't think anyone can do what Fabregas.
I'm
can
taller
do.
than him. I've checked.
Yeah, is that right?
You're taller
I'm the
than
only-
Stuart Little.
I'm taller than Arshavin. I've checked because it was bothering me because they kept on going on about how tiny he was until one of our lot
All
pointed
you're
out.
doing now is you're making it necessary for me to point out that you're not very tall.
I think I've done that for myself actually.
Is there a problem with the height in the team? Do you think? I mean, we've got a very small team.
I think maybe that's why Diaby keeps the shirt when he's not always on it. But there are a couple of players, Rosicky and Nasri, who are going to be after that shirt very soon.
Yes, and Danielson's going to want to be.
And
back
Ramsey.
as well.
And Ramsey.
And Wilshere.
Yeah, how many can we field? We're going to have to put 17 men out.
Because all I've heard from Spurs fans the last couple of days is how they had Lennon, Modric. So they call him Model. They call him
right?
Model.
Model? Is that their nickname for him?
Model. Yeah, that went well, didn't it?
Because you engage with the Spurs fans, don't you? That's quite unusual for a Gooner, but you do engage. Because I know on the
Really?
morning of the Derby game, you were extremely stressed about it.
It's the first time I've actually been really, really stressed about playing Tottenham. Apart from the fact that it is unthinkable to lose to them at our place because they're rubbish. But I just really thought at this time, they might even get close to us. And I don't know, maybe I just got caught
Not
up in all
without
the
those
hype.
3 players. Those 3 players make a big difference to them.
Well, I normally need. Last time I had a sort of Arsenal meltdown, I normally try and call on the experienced heads like you. You two, after
the Chelsea
meltdown a couple of years ago, I needed to draw on your kind of experience of Arsenal matches. But no, I was actually genuinely worried this time. I should explain that Ty's from South London and only supports Arsenal because of Ian Wright. That's basically the truth, isn't it? It's hardly true, but it'll do for. It's why I love. I love
really,
Wright.
You're a Palace
Wright
fan.
is
You're
mum.
a lapsed Palace fan.
Right, you can't call me into disrepute like that. I used to go and watch Palace when Arsenal were playing away because, as you know, I don't go to away games. We've fallen out about this before. But Ian Wright,
in a minute, Ian is going to bring up Winterslag away in the UEFA Cup in 1982.
That was paid by dues.
Winterslag, as the name suggests, is a Belgian coal mining town.
Yeah, and I went there
on
on a bus.
We managed to lose an away goal.
On a bus, we lost an away goals 2-1.
But Tayo has been to an away game. I drove him there. It was Bolton away. We had 10 men, 2-0 down. We won 3-2. And he's now immediately overnight retired from ever going to another away game because how could it get better than that?
I think they're all like that. If it's not like 10 men, Abu Dhabi sent off. Right?
Was it him? I can't
It was
remember.
Diaby sent off back to
something
our
good? Did he
player.
deck someone or
No,
something feeble?
2 really bad tackles.
He fell asleep.
No, really, yeah.
Never forget.
Did he?
Fell asleep
sent
on the
off for
referee's
lying
shoulder.
down.
Yeah.
No, but this time, I don't know why I was a bit nervous about the Spurs fans, about playing Spurs. But then we got there and it all dissipated inside minutes because they're not very good. And even though we weren't very good for the first half,
As soon as we started playing, that was that.
they had one ball up to Crouchy, knocked down to... Cause they didn't have a Defoe there to do anything about it. So the Verminator just cleaned it up all the time.
What do you think about... can I make a suggestion? It's the Olympic Games coming up in 2012. And it's the Paralympics as well. And Ledley King's obviously only got, one leg? Maybe half a leg? Can they not? I know what they do now with the Olympic Games. You know, they go around recruiting people who haven't quite made it as footballers who maybe could play in other sports. And Ledley's got to lead the way for the Paralympic side, surely.
Yeah, he has had a few fitness problems.
And there's 3 or 4 others. I mean, Jermaine Genius should take up another sport straight away.
I thought there was a time when I thought...
Tom Huddleston, obviously, is a chef waiting to happen. That man has got the exact same build as Ainsley Harriott. The exact same build. Never been seen in the same room.
Fat Theo Walcott, isn't it? That's what we say.
He's a fat Theo Walcott. He ate Theo Walcott, and that's what Theo wasn't on the bench.
That's it. Fat because of Theo Walcott.
You're listening to It's Up for Grabs now. It's the Arsenal podcast. Do email, if you can, be bothered. Up for Grabs at playbackmedia.co.uk or go on twitter.com/up for grabs. Now, I sent my nephew as a Spurs fan. Poor kid.
Bless him.
Poor kid. And I wanted to tell you about this. Right? I bought him a birthday card 3 weeks late. This is my won't. I'm always late. I'm embarrassed to say it, but I am always late. But it's better late than never. And this card, it was a football card, but it wasn't team specific. If you know what I mean, there were blue players defending a goal, and there was one red player. So it looked like Liverpool-Chelsea, but it was Liverpool-Coventry. Then the number 10 in the reds, right? Bear with me. Then there's a dotted line going around all the blue players, and then the red player reappears and he's booting it in the goal at the far end. And I thought, oh, that's a football card. He'll like that. He's only turning 13. So what I wrote Fabregas next to the red player, and then next to all the blue players, I wrote King, Keane, Genus, you know.
Yeah.
And how hilarious, what a jape. I sent him a card as if Fabregas had done some miracle run, walking around 5 defenders and stuck it in the corner of the goal.
Imagine that.
A 13-year-old kid.
I posted that last week. Because of the postal strike, he's going to get it when? December?
Well, hopefully
He's
tomorrow.
going to think I'm an absolute... See you next Tuesday, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Because he's going to think
Because
I've done it
exactly what
after the
happened.
event.
And he's 13.
So I've got to ring him up and say, no, I'm not that. I'm actually clairvoyant because I did that before the goal happened.
Yeah, but you know, this kid, I mean, he's a young kid, and this could really... You know how badly he used to take it when Arsenal lost back in the day?
Yeah, but why is his dad past Tottenham? Why do Tottenham fathers do this to their children?
Well, it's like child abuse, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it is. NSPCC should get involved. It's the full stop campaign.
Well, my dad...
Stop making your kids support.
You brought your boy to his first North London derby, didn't you?
No, he's seen Tottenham in the Carling Cup as well. He saw a draw. I think we drew, didn't we?
First meaningful game between Arsenal and
First
Tottenham.
meaningful game between Arsenal and Spurs, yeah, and he enjoyed it very much, of course. But my dad used to go to Tottenham every other week, because back in those days you go to Spurs one week, Arsenal the next. And he could have taken me to Spurs.
It's like me going to Arsenal and Palace, right? It's bringing it back.
My dad's a Spurs fan. My older brother's a Spurs fan. I used to go to White Hart Lane every other week. So why is it so bad now, the atmosphere between the clubs? Because I do think it's worse. And I do think that going to White Hart Lane now is...
Is that geezer in row 14?
Didn't you go in your crash helmet last time?
One year I went on my motorbike and I didn't take my crash helmet off all the way up to the turnstile.
So you wouldn't be allowed to walk in like that now? You wouldn't be allowed.
I went all the way to the turnstile with my crash helmet. And I got there and they said, you can't come in with a crash helmet. And I said, you're having a laugh. And you can't.
What am I going to do?
What am I going to do with that? I throw it at Robbie Keane. I've got to ride home. They said, no, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go out onto Tottenham High Road to the steward's office where they will take it, look after it, and then you've got to go back out there after the game and collect it. I said, if I go out there now, I'll get murdered. If I go out there after the game, I'll get murdered again.
Yeah.
And you'll have a double murder on your hands.
Yes. And so what happened?
Spurs fans spotted me. And I was subjected to a quite well-orchestrated chorus of abuse that lasted for a long time until eventually the steward relented and allowed me in with my crash helmet.
Right.
I think we drew 1-1, as normally we do over there.
Yeah.
And then after the game, I put it on and walked back to my bike. But lots and lots of people by now, I mean, I'm saying about 400 or 500, knew it was me.
Yeah. There's not much you can do. The hat.
But I can say that the helmet did muffle most of the abuse on the way back to my bike.
I was going to say, only for one way, though. You had to drop it off and then...
Speaking of over there...
We know it's you.
I'm hearing a lot of see you at the lane, as if that's going to make any difference. Are we going to get a win over there?
Won't see you at the lane. Don't do away games, do you?
Have you ever been to the lane? Have you ever been to White Hart Lane?
I've been on the bus past it. My dad used to live in Edmonton, and I used to have to go past it a lot.
It made me laugh the other day. They put a picture of their new ground in the paper. And
They made that up,
Patrick
didn't they?
Barkley in the Times pointed out that there was only one bus outside, and how did 56,000 people get there?
They won't get 56,000 people.
Not
Only
unless-
for our games.
Unless they're setting out on a Friday morning to get there.
Yeah. Are they going to build a new ground? Where? It's sort of
Next to
the
it.
Lee
door,
Valley
apparently.
somewhere.
Next to it, yeah.
All right.
It's a great picture.
So even further
It's a
away,
fundamental design flaw already. Obviously, the seats are facing the pitch.
4 miles away from
How
the
old is that
station.
joke? I can't believe I crowbarred that in.
That is a fairly old joke, I think, really. 4 miles from the train station as well. It's rubbish, isn't it?
It is
Walking down
rubbish.
Tottenham High Road.
No, there's nothing to be said for it.
No.
Can we talk about Robin Van Persie for a minute?
He's playing brilliantly, isn't
But
he?
he's not only playing brilliantly, he's saying all the right things, and he's a proper gooner now, isn't he?
He did.
Do you know
We
what I
drew
mean?
Manchester City in the League Cup, and he said,
I'll have that.
"Can I play, please? I want to play." Although obviously he's not going to.
He's not gonna play.
So really, vaguely.
But he said
Vaguely
the right thing. and,
He
he,
knew.
and he said today, you know, beating Spurs is brilliant. Even when Spurs lose and we don't play them, it's brilliant as well.
Yeah.
Win,
Bless him.
win yourself into the Arsenal heart straight away.
Yeah, well, I wasn't happy with him the other week when he said he goes down, you know, when he just gets a little tap. So I thought, don't say that.
Oh yeah, but then we had Carlton Cole at Upton Park last week, and that's what you do, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but don't tell people that because then you're less likely to get free kicks.
We're not getting anything anymore after Eduardo. We're done for penalties this season.
Or we get
Normally we lead the league in penalties because we've got
Yeah.
so many little tricky sods who can fall over at the slightest thing.
Yeah.
And now nothing.
Nothing.
Someone's going to have to get axed for us to get a penalty.
But like before, there's a few
That is a
proper
red card
there's a
offence.
few proper Arsenal fans in the team now. Do you know what I mean? Gail Clichy always says the right thing. You know, hate Spurs.
My favourite is our man Traore, as you know.
With his knuckle duster.
No one knows if this is true or not. and I
That
hope it
shiny
is.
jacket he had the other day was nice, wasn't it?
Well, our man Traore, rumour has it, had the choice of being a pro kickboxer or a pro footballer. Chose football, but still has the kickboxing mentality, and took a knuckle duster to White Hart Lane, which he got caught with.
Just in case, he
Now,
said.
this has to be an urban myth.
Well, who said it? He said it, didn't he?
I don't know. I heard
That's
it
in
from
the
someone.
paper.
You heard it from someone.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's in the paper. It must be true.
Yes, definitely true then.
I never thought Van Persie could be the point of attack in that 4-3-3.
But Wenger said his first touch was perfect, and that's true at the moment. He really he gets the ball and he takes it away from the defender and he brings people into the game.
Aren't you
making
looking
great
for a
runs as
little
well.
height? I mean, what we had with Eddie Bayor, and I don't want to say his
Oh,
name
yeah.
either, but he could jump and chest the ball down. He was a big lad, and he could play that if he could be bothered. You
that's
remember
why
back
he
in
played.
2007 when he could be bothered?
He was fantastic, but that's
Remember
why
a
he
load
played
of
Bentner as well.
2008 when he couldn't be bothered.
Yeah,
No.
but he played Bentner. That's why Wenger was playing Bentner as well, because then you got the height.
But you
as
thought
well.
at the start of the season that if anything, it's going to be Bentner in the middle to do just that again.
just replace Adebayor. But no, he's changed the way the team plays. But obviously he's got Arshavin and Rosicky coming back and Nasri, so he's got a lot of midfield players to accommodate.
And he's-
so
but what makes
there's
it-
goals from all over the team. That's the good thing about
If
it.
What makes it work so well is the fact that Cesc will find Robin all day long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what he's getting the ball in at his feet because Cesc is amazing. It's Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out he is Jesus. Is Arshavin happy or is he unhappy?
No, he doesn't want to be on the left, does he?
Is that what you think it is?
Well, that's what I heard from someone.
I think that when people say, "Oh, he doesn't celebrate the goals. Why doesn't he celebrate the goals?" But normally, it must annoy him that when we score a goal, they run all the way over to the far corner flag and slide around on their knees, and he's thinking, "I can't run over there. Do you know how short my legs are? Do you know how hard this Premier League
It's
is?
a long way over
I
there.
can't go. I'm just going to walk back to where I live and get a Lucozade off Pat Rice on the way."
He does look knackered after 20 minutes.
I told you on the FIFA
Yeah.
on the FIFA 10, he is knackered after about 60 minutes. He can't.
But that's because you're overusing him.
Possibly.
You've got to play 1 and 2 touch on FIFA, Ian. You're dribbling him too much, aren't you? Running him into the ground.
I am dribbling him a lot.
Who'd you bring on when he gets knackered?
Theo.
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 Generally, yeah. That's true.
We've got a few injuries up front now, you know. Benter's out for a month.
We've always got injuries, though. That's what you have to deal with. That's
Who
what
do you want
Tottenham
to see?
couldn't deal with.
You know, Nasri's coming back, obviously. I don't want to see him as a holding midfield player
I want
ever
to see
again.
Rosicky up there. Basically, I think Rosicki's gonna if he stays decently fit. I mean, he's a brilliant player. We've almost forgotten about him.
I like the
get
way
the ball off him.
Rosicky gets the ball and he's going forward in essentially the same movement.
he's another player.
Pires used to do that. changed the point of the way the ball was going straight away. Great player.
None of them are like Pires, though, are they?
I'm just saying, Rosicky has that ability, and I like that about him.
He's
He can
another
receive
person
the
who's
ball
going to
in
make the
turn.
right decision up there, basically.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Bentner's going to give the ball away, maybe. Diaby probably didn't mean to, but had a spliff beforehand, so he's going to keep the ball away. But then you've got Rosicky, and you've got Cesc, and you've got Van Persie, and you've got Arshavin, who are all going to make it.
Lot of
Nasri,
goals.
if he's on, are all going to make the right.
I want to mention Carlos Vela.
I'd love to see him play, but he's not going to get in the team ahead of Eduardo and the rest of them, is he?
Well, what happened with Eduardo?
Well, he missed a few chances.
Did you see
He
Alan's
missed a few
face?
chances.
Did you see Alan's face?
You
He
know,
looked like
I
a
love
really
Eduardo.
disappointed parent when Eduardo missed two chances.
Gomez
like that.
came out. I don't know what it is about Gomez, but it looks like he's got legs for arms and arms for legs or something. It's something very odd. It's like a massive green spider comes hurtling out at you.
Yeah.
And he may or may not get you. But I mean, really, Eduardo could have chipped him, run round
the
him.
first one was a
First
good
one was a
save.
good save.
Second one, he should have scored.
He had
one he
too
should
long.
have scored.
Second, he had too long.
much time.
If it had been Carnu, he'd have just given him that voodoo look and he'd have fallen over.
Do you remember that goal Carnu got where he didn't? Well, it wasn't actually his goal.
Deportivo.
I think the ball was going towards the net, and he did about 4 dummies and never touched the ball. And all
There was a
everyone just dived out
one-on-one.
of the way.
I remember it so well. The ball was rolling towards a Deportivo goal. The goalkeeper's about to grab it. Carnu stood in front of him, stamped his foot once, and the goalie fell over.
That's right.
And then the ball rolled into the
Rolled
goal.
in.
I don't even know if Carnu got an assist for that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not even sure it wasn't his goal, was it?
He should have an assist and a goal for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, voodoo. Now, before we leave this debut podcast, Champions League this week. Are you bothered? When I say to people on a Wednesday, we've got a Champions League group game, I seriously cannot remember who we're playing. No. I have to be reminded. Wenger's always going 12 years. We've had 12. I believe, as he starts every sentence, I believe we've had 12 seasons in a row in the Champions League. Are we bothered about it? These group games are annoying, if you ask me.
Well, they should just take the best 16 teams and put them in the next round and be done.
Which wouldn't be
Really?
Liverpool.
I'd say
Wouldn't be Liverpool.
32 because we're not always going to make the 16.
No, I'm not.
Do you think it should just be a straight knockout from the beginning of the season?
No, but you know what? What I think it doesn't really matter. It's a money thing.
Or
and there's
groups
no
of 3.
way.
If it were groups of 3, so you played 4 games instead of 6. Why does it have to be a group of 4? Groups of 3 and the winners go for it.
We didn't actually beat this
16
the
groups
same
of 3.
rubbish
That's
team
my
that
proposal.
16
same
groups
rubbish
of
team
3.
we're talking
Yeah.
about. We didn't actually beat the other
Group
day, so
P. That would be weird. I just find that weird. Group Q. What? I don't know.
I would number the groups.
His number. Actually, that's a better idea.
I would not give the groups letters. Or I would use, names for them like Group David.
we qualify if we win on
Apparently, yeah.
Basically, I
obviously
know.
we're going to
I mean, we're
qualify,
gonna qualify
aren't we?
anyway,
So now it's all about when can we play Jack Wilshere? That's all we really care about. It's just, these teams aren't normally good enough to play in the Premier League, is the way I think of it. AZ Alkmaar, they're the Dutch champions. Used to be afraid of the Dutch champions.
Yeah.
And now we think, we just got to get them out of the way. That'll be a bit annoying.
Standard Liège.
Standard Liège and then Olympiacos.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
it's a poor group.
It's a poor group. There are better groups than that, though, aren't there? I mean, but
There's more hilarious
Oh,
groups
look,
like,
but
say,
even
the Liverpool
still-
one.
But even still, after the 5th season, they go this massive meeting between Man United and Real Madrid, and you think, I've seen that.
I've seen it all
I've seen
before.
Inter Milan and Barcelona 20 times. I mean, it doesn't matter, does it, anymore?
I don't know any of Alkmaar's players. I mean, we're all going to tip up there on Wednesday.
I'm not, actually.
You're not going?
I care even less than you.
Do you want me to flog your ticket on this
It's gone.
podcast
It's
right
gone.
now? Oh,
Rich
you
has
got rid of it?
Rich has got it,
Oh,
yeah.
Rich has got it, has he? Well, I think we'll win. That's
think
all I
we'll
can say
probably-
about the game. That's as much enthusiasm as I can muster. Oh, I'm thinking about Molyneux. We must win at Wolves. Must win at Wolves.
I care more
Got to
about
keep
the-
the pressure on. Got to win at Wolves at the weekend.
I care more about the Man City quarter-final, the Carling Cup, at this point.
Yeah, but that's because of Adebayor, isn't it?
I'm going
Partly.
to that. It's no
And
way.
by the way,
won't it?
before you go, I want you to sign a card because it's Kolo Toure's 40th birthday next week. And I don't think they know what they've bought.
I think they're starting to
I
realise.
saw a little bit of footage the other day of 2003-4 when he was about 29 and Helly was good.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Did you see this thing? I just got to
18
say
million
this.
quid, wasn't it?
Did you see this? I was talking to Ty about this the other day. About the Nigerian under-17 world champions, right? They won the under-17s World Cup 2 years ago. The Nigerians, right? Now they're having a tournament at the moment, the under-17s World Cup, and they wanted to do age testing because they're not sure actually that all of those 6'2" massive blokes
Yeah.
are actually 16. So they went to the Nigerians and said, "We've found this 99% foolproof way of testing. It's scanning the wrist." we want to scan all the players' wrists. And the Nigerians said, no. And they said, well, everyone else is doing it. You're going to have to. And they went, all right then. Ian, I want you to have a guess. How many Nigerian boys got pulled out of the squad?
Seriously? On the squad?
Yeah.
6?
15.
No! 15?
15.
And how, did they find out how old they actually were?
Lauren.
How
You remember Lauren, our right back? He's now 75.
How old was the oldest one in the squad?
That hasn't been revealed.
I'd love to know.
As a Nigerian, I thought it was a scandal.
How old are you?
Come back next week. Come back next week, listener, when we reveal Tayo's birth certificate.
That's real age.
And listen, lads, it's been fantastic having you here.
Pleasure.
For the first ever Up for Grabs Now podcast. Do email us, upforgrabs@playbackmedia.co.uk, twitter.com/upforgrabs. We will be back another day. Thank you very much, boys.
Cheers.
Take care.
This is a Playback Media production. To listen to all our football podcasts, visit playbackmedia.co.uk.